Can everyone hear me?
Yes, you're on.
Okay. So my aunt came by and asked if she could take my sisters and I to church. So of course we had to get all dressed up and look real nice. But the only problem is I hate dresses. No kidding. I hate dresses. But nonetheless, we had to go. So the four of us got in the car and went on our way. And we're talking in the car, having a good time, cracking jokes. It's all fun. And then all of a sudden, I saw this huge, grand building. And I thought, man, sure enough, we pulled into the parking lot. So we all got out and headed towards the building. And as I told you guys, it was huge. We're talking massive, grand doors and everything. So we're heading in and I'm wondering, wow, what is this place? Well, my auntie tells us to go sit in the back seats over there. So they head on, my sisters, and I follow them. And then she taps me and goes, no, you come with me. We're going to go up to the front. Oh, okay, fine. We'll go to the front. All right. So auntie and I headed on to the front. And at that moment, I saw a body being carried out. There were two people carrying the body, heading on out, like pallbearers or something, laid out like a coffin. And I'm thinking, my auntie's like, no, baby, come on, just come to the front. You come on, just follow me. Okay. So we head on to the front, keep going, and she says, you're going to sit in that row right there. Oh, okay. I sit down and I look over to the side and notice there's somebody in a wheelchair. And then another person that looks like they have some kind of palsy or something. I don't know. And I look at my auntie, I'm like, what is this? She's like, honey, don't worry about it. She tapping my leg. You fine. Okay. Huh. Now there's the pastor, he's up front. I figured that out. And he's talking and stuff. Of course, I don't know what he's saying. There's no interpreter. So I start swinging my leg, and auntie's like, you stop swinging your legs. So I swing it some more because I'm bored. Stop swinging your legs. Okay. Then here comes the pastor, and he puts his hand on the one that looked like the palsy or something, and they laid out. I'm like, what? No. What? And he's coming down the line. Here he goes with the wheelchair person, putting the hands on, laid out. Oh, no. My auntie again looks at me, girl, baby, don't worry, you're fine. But again, he's coming down the line and comes up to me and tries to lay on my head. I kid you not, guys. It was in slow motion. Well, I punched him. That's what I did. I punched him. I kicked him. Aunties are like, whoa, what's going on? And the pastor's trying to calm me down. I punched him. I kicked him. They're trying to hold me down. I became like a street fighter, boxer, martial arts. I'm screaming. I'm all over the place. And they're all going, no. Okay, it's calm. I look back and my sisters are dying with laughter. And I'm thinking, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm hitting and punching and kicking, and folks is coming from the back and coming down to hold me down. And yeah, I was mad. I was real mad. So auntie's like, come on, let's go. We leaving. Oh, we get out of that building. We get in the car. We're heading home. she looking like if she ain't too happy. But we pull into the house. We all get out of the car. Mommy opens the door and she's like, "Hey, baby." But I didn't even say nothing. I'm walking right past her. And she's like, what's going on here? So my mom knew something was going on, obviously. So my auntie's trying to explain it away. Well, you see, this had happened, and but then my sisters ran on in, and they were like, "Girl, Mommy, let me tell you what happened." They told the whole story. Well, Mama wasn't happy. Yeah, she wasn't happy at all. Auntie's thinking, well, it just. And so she goes, did you tell Cassie that you were taking her to church? Well, you see, this is what happened. Oh, so you didn't tell her anything. Well, I just figured that she would. And then out of nowhere, the next thing I knew, she slapped my mama right upside the head. And I said, well, serves her right. I got another story for you. Are you ready? So my mom and dad lived in a home, and we had a porch there. And it had like those brick, porches that go all the way around, like a veranda. And then right next to it is the stairs you can come out of the house. And a lot of times I would sit there just kind of looking around, but my mom would also sit there and my dad would sit there as well. He was a smoker. And everybody would just be watching the neighborhood, seeing what's going on. And one time I saw my dad kind of get a strange look on his face, and he put out a cigarette. And I'm thinking, what's Daddy doing? His face just kind of shifted, like I'm thinking, what's going on here? Now my mom's butt is huge. I said huge. My mama got a big butt, okay? My daddy takes the lighter and starts lighting it underneath my mom's butt while she's standing against the veranda thing. So she's like feeling the heat a little bit. She's just like fanning, and I'm going, what? I started to laugh, and Dad's like, shh, don't say anything. I literally had to pierce my lips tight because if I laughed, I knew, it was going to be over. So I'm trying my best to hold it in, and he's telling me, shh, don't laugh. He kept doing it again and again until you wouldn't believe it. My mom started yelling and screaming, and he's banging on her butt. She's like, it's hot. What's going on here? What's going on? The people from upstairs heard my mom yelling. They came running down. So they're hearing banging and doors and everything, and they couldn't believe what they saw. My dad's over there trying to pat my mom's butt, and she's like, it's going, and I'm laughing at this point because I didn't know it was dangerous because what was happening. My mom's pants was on fire, and they're laughing, I'm laughing, and everybody's like, whoa, what's going on? And finally, my mom turns around after he puts it out, and we saw it. My mom's pants had a huge hole in it. There was no pants left. It was just her underwear. And my dad's like, well, and she let him have it. I mean, she's cussing like a failure. They're just going all at it. They're yelling. He's running down the stairs, across the porch and down the stairs. He's heading down the block. He's trying to get his keys to get in the car. My mom's like, no, you coming back here. You coming back here. And he's trying to get the keys and get in the car. He gets in the car. Then he can't get the engine started. He's fumbling and trying to figure out how to get the car started. Pulls in the door and takes off. That was my family, y'all. Don't mess with fire on people's butts, okay? That's the moral of the story on that one. I have one more story. This one might be a little bit for the kids, okay? Check out the cowboy. He's looking like a gunslinging cowboy. And he notices a saloon. That's a bar. He walks on in, stranger in town maybe, and he notices there's some Indians over in the corner. They're looking at him, he's looking at them, and then all of a sudden, they notice he doesn't have guns in his holsters. So they go, what is that? And he looks down and he goes, these are my mirrors. Mirrors? Why don't you have guns? I don't need no guns. These mirrors are just fine. Okay. Well, we're about to do a hunting trip. Are you coming? Absolutely. So they all head on out of the saloon, heading out into the woods. And he's walking just as confident as he want to be with the whole group. And finally, they notice there are tracks, paw tracks. So they tell him, hey, this is probably a bear. Watch out, you got to be careful. Those bears are real dangerous, okay? No, I'll be fine, he says. Okay, your funeral. And then there's the bear. Here it comes. And everybody's wondering, what are we going to do? And he rolls on up, whips out his mirror. The bear stops in his tracks, runs in the opposite direction. Dave slams into a wall and falls down. Knocks himself out. Everybody's like, what just happened? How? What? Cowboy said, I told you. So off they go again. And then they notice some other tracks. He goes, hey, those are wolf tracks. Those are really ferocious. You don't want to mess with the wolves. He's like, I got it. Okay, have it your way. And then they see the wolf. Here it comes. Again. He whips out the mirror. The wolf runs around looking confused and charges off and runs right off a cliff. Gone. They all look down the cliff. What? How? No way. So they said, hey, how about we trade? We'll give you our weapons. You give us the mirrors. Cowboy said, sure, no problem. So they go ahead and do the trade. Everybody's ready to go now. And they're thinking, all right, now we're ready because we can finally get some stuff that we want to get rid of. So they see more tracks and they run out and show the mirror, ready to be heroes. And here it comes, a train. That's all for me. Bye, everyone.
Okay, great. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, we started performing together in the memories. And I'm glad that we're still getting together. We still have these opportunities like tonight. So I'm really grateful for being invited to be a part of this. So tonight's event, you donate for a school in Ghana. And I've been there. I got to go back in 2013. I did a performance there for the kids at the school. And it was interesting just having my own experience and having been traveling and performing for so long all over the world, all the things that I've done. The best part of my work is the audience, getting to meet and talk with you, the connections. That's really what this is about. And oftentimes when I'm done performing, people will come up to me after the show and they always ask the same 3 questions. The first question is, you come from a deaf family, don't you? And I answer, no, I'm the only person in my family who is deaf, which leads them to the second question. You grew up in a deaf school, didn't you? And my answer again is no, I grew up in a mainstreamed program in the public schools. And so then they say, oh, so you went to Gallaudet University. And I always answer, I didn't. And I'm met with puzzled looks. And people want to know why I'm so fluent in American Sign Language if I didn't grow up in a deaf family, go to a deaf school, or attend Gallaudet University. Well, the answer, as I'm sure you've already deduced, is because of my cat. And if that doesn't make sense, then I'll tell you the story. I learned ASL because of my cat. So growing up, I didn't use American Sign Language. I communicated in sign, but I also spoke while I signed, which is different from American Sign Language. And in order to understand why I say I learned ASL because of my cat, I have to tell you about my cat. I really think my cat got the wrong name. My cat should have been named Moses. And you're probably all familiar with Moses, biblical character, Old Testament, escaping from the Exodus, gets to the river, the Roman army is coming after them, prays to God, parts the Red Sea, that Moses. Maybe you've heard of him? Great, okay. So my cat should have been named Moses. And the reason for that is that no matter what was going on around my house, whether there were people, animals, traffic, whatever it was, anything that was going on, the minute my cat showed up, it all parted like the Red Sea. We're talking the trees even uprooted and left the yard because of this cat. This was one of those types of cats who was just a tough, bad, ugly, mean, son of a bitch cat. And so I really think he should have been named Moses. And he wasn't. It is what it is. But even the cat's name in ASL really showed the just this cat's nature. The name in ASL showed the fact that he had a split ear, he was battle scarred, he had one bulbous eye, he had a tattoo, said Mom. This was one of those janky, messed up cats. And because of the way he looked, everyone else was scared of him. People, animals, everyone. Now, I spent a lot of time growing up looking out the living room window. We had one of those big picture windows because when I grew up, television wasn't captioned, and so I watched life. And in my neighborhood, there were a lot of cats. And so the situation I'm about to tell you about happened with some regularity. I'd be looking, and on a given day, a new cat would come to the area. Now, the cats who have lived here for a while are hanging out, doing what cats do, cleaning themselves, smoking, coughing up hairballs, drinking a 40. And so the new cat would show up into town and think that he was going to be the leader of the pack. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen cats greet one another, but it's a very involved ritual. There are lots of head signals, ears moving, some fist bumping or paw bumping. But the new cat would always ask about the neighborhood. And the cats who had been around would always say the same thing. Yeah, this is a great neighborhood, except for that house. Now, I don't know if you've ever had a cat point at you before while you're sitting out, looking out the window at them. It's an uncomfortable feeling when a cat's across the street pointing at you with their little paw. But they would always warn this new cat to stay away from my yard. They would tell him, don't go near it, don't talk to it, don't look at it, don't even breathe in its general direction. But of course, the new cat's like, whatever. I just got here from New York City. Ain't no thing. But the cats who had been around would try and warn this new cat about what it was about to get into. And it never worked. And so they were like, all right, buddy, your funeral. You do you. So new cat would always strut across the street. And I would just watch, knowing what was about to happen. Because the minute new cat got near my yard and touched a single blade of grass, the instant that happened, this gray blur, and I should mention it's gray because my ugly cat was, of course, the color of asphalt. This gray blur would zip into existence, and there would be this tornado-like fight, like the Tasmanian devil, like you'd see in a cartoon, and the next thing you know, new cat is now naked cat because my cat has skinned it and sent it on its way. And the old cats who have been around are like, we tried to tell him. Now we'll just call him Cold. Of course, they talk a good game until my cat would look their direction. Now, I can see you all are laughing. You're having the wrong reaction. You should be having a fear reaction. So clearly I haven't made my point. Let me give you another example. Another day, I'm sitting at the window, and this time I see a dog. And it's a kind of dog I've never seen before. It's maybe new to the neighborhood, maybe it's lost, it's out exploring, I don't know. It's a Great Dane. They're built like small ponies. I don't know if you remember Marmaduke. Think Marmaduke, but bigger. This is one of those enormous, like, bring your kids to the circus and ride for $5 type of dogs. And it's lumbering along, just doing its thing, you know, and those dogs are often dopey and they're not very bright. And I'm thinking, the dog's getting too close to my yard. I need to warn it. And so not only did we not have captioning, but we also had old windows and I was small and they're the crank type. So I'm trying to crank the window open quickly enough so I can let the dog know not to come near my yard. And that's when everything starts going in slow motion. I see the dog coming closer as I'm trying to crank with my little arms to get that window open so I can warn the dog of the impending danger that's about to take its life. And just as I get my hand out to sign no, hoping that the dog knows sign language, it gets too close to the blade of grass. That one blade of grass is all it ever took. The minute the dog's nose touched it, the gray blur comes into being. And in slow motion, I see this ball of fur and fangs coming at this poor dog who has no idea what's going on. Have you ever seen a dog wet itself in fright? It's not cute. This dog is leaving a trail of pee as it runs, as my cat gets out its ninja swords. That's the type of cat I have. My cat is barreling down on this Great Dane about to have it for lunch. Like, imagine a cat in a semi-truck. That's the idea that this dog had that was following it. Imagine Thanos with his glove, snapping his fingers. The dog wasn't part of the blip. Anyway, so the dog runs. My cat does not give up. My cat chases the dog all the way to its house. And so the dog is running as fast as it can. It gets to its gate, blows right through it, and is hiding in the dog house. And the only way you know that is because the house is shaking because the dog is under it, cowering. But my cat gets there and takes note, saying, I know where you live now. I'll be seeing you later. So that's my cat. Are we clear? All right. So as I mentioned earlier, I grew up signing and speaking at the same time. My parents also talked and signed. And when I got to be teenage, I developed a little bit of an attitude. And so I often got into it with my parents. And I remember my mom and I often had big fights. And these weren't fights where we were like talking and signing. These are fights where we were yelling and signing. And otherwise, we had a peaceful home. And my cat liked the house to be peaceful because when it was outside, he had to defend us against the neighborhood. But inside, his personality changed. I never got bitten or scratched or anything from this cat. My sister and me, we played rough with this cat. Like, we're talking swinging by the tail, picking it up by the ears, bouncing on it like a bouncy house. And the cat just took all of it in stride. It never hissed or anything at us because it knew it was home. It knew it was safe. But the cat didn't like a lot of noise. And so when we would yell at one another, it didn't like it. So imagine my home, dining room table, my mom and I standing on either side of it, and we're having this argument. And we're not just talking and signing, we're yelling and signing. My cat is in the other room, doing what cats do, which is probably reading one of the classics. I would imagine Moby Dick, maybe Great Expectations. So not only does he have to put his glasses away, set down his book, and take off the reading jacket, but then my cat goes all friggin' commando, gets down on the floor and starts like belly crawling all the way into the dining room. We're talking black tar under the eyes. This cat has gone next level bonkers. And if you remember the old Marines commercials where they come out of the water when you don't expect them, that's what we saw. 2 ears coming over the top of the table telling us to be quiet. But my mom and I are in the middle of a fight, so we don't pay the slightest bit of attention to the cat. So the cat's like, look, I asked nicely. Next thing you know, Kitty goes all crouching tiger, hidden dragon on us. Jumps up. It's like a scene from The Matrix where the camera rotates around in midair. Spikes come out. The claws come out. The teeth come out. And the cat scratches me straight across the arm. Blood splurting. Argument over. Because my mother and I are both so stunned by this behavior. The cat lands back on the table and is like, thank you, and goes to sleep. And it was at that moment that I realized how smart my cat was. Because my cat had figured out that if I was talking and signing at the same time, and it didn't like the volume, if it got me to stop signing, I would also stop talking. That is a smart cat. But that was also when I realized that I needed to learn ASL because you can't talk while you use American Sign Language. So clearly, it's the safer language in my house. Thank you.
What's happening, y'all? I know you are natural hearing people have different signs and all that. And when y'all see me, especially in Zoom, the screen goes specifically to the person who's talking. But when you're signing, you kind of technically have to put the camera on me, right? Deaf issues. So now that we focus on moi, listen, I need the interpreters not to interrupt my show, okay? Don't be speaking and then the camera goes on you. Keep it on me. Well, welcome, my fellow Americans. It is a joy to see each of you beautifully in a virtual environment. I actually can't see your faces, my bad, but I'm just gonna assume that your beautiful self and your spirit is right here with me. If you donate a little bit more money, I'll just tell you how gorgeous you are. But until then, I know people in the audience always ask questions about live performances. And before COVID happened, we were all interested in trying to see what was going on. But how many of you were interested in being a part of this? And then Zoom, can you type in the chat or raise your hand? Because what I'll do is recognize you. If you are needing Spanish interpretation or you are Spanish. Oh, I see you got your camera on. I see you, Erica. I see you. Okay. How many of you, let me see, are Chinese? Any Chinese folks in the audience? It's all right. 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 Some of y'all putting this hashtag, stop Asian hate. I feel you. Some of y'all bouncing. I get it. We want to support our fellow brethren. Who else? Who else? Who else is in the building? Any of my black people? My people. Any Wakandans? Persis, I see you. That is hella black. Lift up the roof, I see. Okay, that's black. We in the house when we start doing that. All right, Persis. How many of you are from England, the UK, anybody? Come on, y'all. Most of y'all. Y'all done moved to America, y'all done migrated. Y'all gonna act different now. Okay, no problem. It's not your fault. Some of us arrived from the homeland. And for those native and indigenous folks here, we strongly support you. We definitely support any and everything you was about, especially all BIPOC people, Black, indigenous, and people of color. We are here in the building. So I'm just gonna go ahead, let you know a little bit about my culture. Hold on. But just before I get started, I do want to, give a shout out to the interpreters all over the globe, supporting the deaf community as you have been. More power to you. Thank you. And why do I want to focus on that? Because y'all ain't finna show up today. We have to work in partnership with our interpreter brothers and sisters, and that we're gonna do that to make sure our community is on point. Thank you all so much. There are some interpreters I absolutely love. They're some of the best interpreters. However, y'all know sometimes some of y'all interpreters that, I ain't got no home training, no schooling. I don't even know what kind of certification. Bless your qualified heart. I don't even know what about you. I don't even know who taught you sign language, but you're here. But you call yourself an interpreter. But I'm not hating. I'm just saying it's all in the family. Now we have that out the way. I just want to continue on my show. We have all different kinds of interpreters in the world today. And I want to enlist maybe a couple. Some of you are formally trained. You went to an interpreter training program. Well, my hat's off to you. Some of you got it just by pure experience, right? You're an ODA of some kind. You just picked it up along the way, but you got something missing. Culture. Cultural competency. You're missing it. Real talk. I'm gonna expound on that just a little bit if I can in a scholarly fashion. Let me tell you a little something about it. I usually give interpreters like a little test, make them theorize something, right? Do a little bit of hands-on research, no pun intended. I just want to see what the results are. There's 3 different kinds of interpreters that I see, just on my own life experience. You have the interpreters, of course, who went through an interpreter training program. They're a little iffy. When they come with their signing skills, when they get into the program, The other kind of interpreter, you have interpreters, of course, who know sign very well. They got some cultural competency. They've been here and there a little bit throughout the community. Then you have other interpreters who have been engulfed in the deaf community. They got this, right? But I try to test them all. I say, hey, what's the sign for what's up? Not what is up. No. I'm talking about what's up. What's the sign for that? Sign it for me. The new interpreter sign just like this. What is UP? No. What's up? What is no. Okay. Bless your qualified. All right. Maybe you picked it up somewhere in your curriculum, maybe ASL 4 or yeah. Anyway, so the second type of interpreter I am referring to. This interpreter has a little bit of knowledge. They'll be like, oh, let me show off. Let me show you what I done learned on Instagram. Here we go. And they get their best little parameters. Look at them. All in their technical parameter space. This is cute. Where'd you learn that from? YouTube? I must sign in my particular parameters. This is how you sign what's up. What's up? Let me hear it, interpreter. I need you to go to the hood with this one. What's up? Can I hear it? You heard me? Okay. That right there, right? So when I say it like that, the interpreter signs, what's up? It doesn't match, but it's cool though. Bless your qualified heart. I keep it moving. Got it. Now, we're gonna go to the third type of interpreter who just got this in their mind, right? They be like, you got, follow me now. What's that? Right? All outside of the parameters. I'm like, check you out. You sign outside of the box? Yeah, I do. It's my culture, baby. I do this. Black, baby. I thought you knew it's all about Wakanda. Right? You sign out of the box. As our language out of the box is what's up, baby? Head rolling all, what it do? That's what I'm talking about. Match me when you interpret. Interpreters, take notes. I'll pay you after the show, after you donate. Okay? Next. Interpreters, I love them, I do. However, it's just that we can't divorce y'all. So we gotta be careful. We gotta treat these interpreters right. They're gonna hate on us in their interpretation. Right? And we do go back and forth. You know how it is to interpreters. For those that I see in the community, let me explain. Most interpreters be feeling type of guilty when they have to follow exactly what the rules of conduct are, or more so to go to professional conduct. Some of you want to get an A in your little ITP course. I get it. Follow the rules. Be that kind of follower. I got it. All right, here are your kibbles and bits. Yeah, but let me tell you one thing. Once you graduate, it is a different world out there, Nemo. Okay, the water runs wide, it runs deep, baby. Know this. If you happen to meet a person of color, we're just gonna say a Latino person or a Black person, right? Just for namesake. You can't start talking all extra proper because you learned this in your little cute little ITP, right? The BIPOC deaf are gonna look at you like, nah, brother, sister, nah. That's not in the proper interpretation. You're not catching my vibe. So that's what I'm gonna tell you. There is absolutely nothing in the box. That's rule number 1. Really, if we, quote, break the rules of life, you'd go in jail, correct? Well, if you break the rules of interpreting, do you go to jail? No, there's no interpreter jail. Know this. Ain't nobody gonna arrest you. You don't have to feel like you're rebelling against what you've been traditionally taught on what interpreting is, or more so what it ain't. You got to add some swag when you're interpreting for me. Because there's not enough of us out there breaking the rules, expanding the rules, or more so redefining the rules, interpreter. Remember James Dean? I want you to be the James Dean of interpreter. Gangster. Iconic. Cool. Be the James Brown of interpreter. Be that on the right foot. That is what I need you to be. Be like the Marilyn Monroe ladies. Ladies, be the Marilyn Monroe of interpreting. Be iconic. Be visually entertaining. Be stunning. Be attractive. Right? Be Angela Davis. Be that person. When I see you, I know what time it is. When I see you, I gotta put my fist up. Be that interpreter. Don't follow the rules. Be the rule. Now, if and only if we get paranoid because interpreters be hating on other interpreters, don't worry about them. Don't worry about what they're gonna say at the interpreter table at y'all's break. Don't worry about that. They ain't gonna put you in an interpreter jail. File a little weak ass ethical complaint against you at the RD. Don't do that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Okay. I'm put a little explanation in your ear. Okay. It's a little simple word. My suggestion, I don't want you to be a part of the FBI. And I don't want you to be the fake. Let me spell it out for you. I don't want you to be the fake bitch ass interpreter. Okay? Well, I don't mean women. I don't mean bitches and women. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. Okay? Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Now, I mean, like in the dictionary, it says a bitch is a dog, right? Right? You follow me now, right? All right. I lost a couple, just a couple, but you know what I mean. Like a dog is a man's best friend, right? Right? That kind of, we don't need that, right? Be supportive. Be as close as a dog as a man's best friend, but think outside the box. And don't be a part of the CIA. What is that? Certified interpreting agency hiring other interpreters to break the rules, right? To serve America better. But the America that I envision is one with interpreters. When people ask me, do you got some favorite interpreters? I'll be like, I got my little handful, I got my little list. People always ask me, Fred, what's so great about being, an American? You ask me, I'm gonna tell you what's so great about being a Black deaf American. Because I don't know about just being American. I can pick one thing. What's great about being deaf? We're clever. Some of the most cleverest people on earth. When I go to the airport, even if I'm running late, all my bags, the line is so long, I'm like, I'm about to pull out the deaf card, walk my happy tail up to front, excuse me, excuse me, I can't hear you. I'm kind of deaf, thank you. What's wrong? I'm deaf. Oh, okay. They put me on the plane, first class, okay? It's like that. It's the advantages of being deaf. That's all I'm saying. It's only on Southwest, but there's no judgment. All that just to get some peanuts first. But what else is also great about being deaf? We love to sleep like a rock. I'm out. Dogs barking, cats going, sirens going off. It doesn't matter with me. I'm knocked out, baby. I can't hear it. You hearing people? Oh my God, any moving thing you up all day. You get no rest. Like, why? When I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go. I'm looking young, baby. I'm looking good. I'm on my way to work. I'm like, hey, Miss Johnson. Hey, Brother J. Larry. Okay. You hearing people? Y'all get to work in the morning. Y'all got the jitters. Y'all need your little Starbucks coffee before you get going. You got bags under your eye, huh? You got to put some makeup on. You got to get it together. You ain't got it together. Look at me. I'm like, hey, you get scared. Hey, Fred. All right? That's how y'all be. Walking around with your nervous jitters. But deaf folks, nah, we got a good job. One thing we do, we love to hug. Especially we ain't seen each other in a long time. You know, it's a family reunion every time it's one or more, two or more deaf people in the same building. We look at each other like, hey girl, you getting fat. No problem, it's been eating. You know how raw and truthful we are. Hearing people, I try to hug. I'm like, hey, Sarah. Me hugging me, sexual harassment. Me too. It's a difference, but it's a blessing being deaf. And let me tell you a blessing about being Black, baby. It's our hair. You see it? I mean, it's wrapped up right now, but you know, trust and believe. We are some of the most stylish people on the face of the planet, right? You'll see us twist our hair looking like spark plugs, but baby, it's styled to the T, right? Electrifying smile and shine and swag to go along with it. One thing that's great about our hair, check this out. We make our afro so nice that no matter how hard I shake it, it stays in place, right? As I'm walking, jiving up and down the street, you see it moving and grooving, but it ain't going nowhere. I go to the store, give me some motion. I just let my soul glow. People running, trying to make sure their hair don't fall, but mine is stay in place, baby. It'll never fall. White person call themselves going to the hair store to get it fixed. They got to spray all kind of mousse in it, all kind of just stuff, all kind of just stuff that just messes up the ozone layer just to keep it in place. Is way too much. You know, way too much. Way too much carbon in it, right? Letting they soul glow, right? They keep it intact only until they get outside. Let it rain. Let it rain. You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna see them book into the car, but it's a wrap as soon as they get to the car. They done wasted their money. Lord forbid. And that's why I loves being Black. You know what's so great about being Black? Our skin color. Check it out. When people try to follow us, what they do? You know what they do. They swarm to the beach, right? Baking in the sun. Both sides, naked and unashamed, trying to look like us from head to toe. And what's so great about being Black? It's our walk. It's that kind of swag. The kind you just can't imitate. It's so loose and so comfortable. That swag be on point. How we sway from left to right. Boy, we bob like a chicken does early in the morning. We see some white folks try to do what we do. Child. Not all, but y'all know what I'm talking about. They get the side eye. They walking so extra stiff, but just the tightest can. Boy, you know what I'm talking about. But it is what it is. My best memories come from me growing up in the church, y'all. I can compare a few things, before I close. My church, the only way I go to, that's when I'm finna get to heaven from the church I go to. It's a little different from the white church I used to go to. I'm just trying to tell you. I go in the white church, I'm like, hello, Pastor Scott. Hey, Brother Fred. I have a seat. Hey, Sister Johnson. Hey, Fred. The people are nice. I look at the pastor. The pastor's like, "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Amen." People say amen in unison. Unison. The choir goes, they start singing. The pastor acknowledging, "Go on ahead, choir. Have a word with us." Our Father. You know I can't sing, but they try to sing. They singing, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name." Yeah, I'm trying to stay up in the Lord so I don't fall asleep and wake up in heaven. I gotta smack myself to stay up. It's so monotone service. My God. Conversely, once we done with church service, I go eat. Oh, pause. Check this out. When I'm in a black church, I remember I used to go in. They be like, "Hey, Fred, I ain't seen you since a one time." They squeezing the life out of me, the breath out of me. I ain't never seen them before. They don't even know my name. They're like, "Hey, but you so-and-so's nephew." Yeah, okay. Like, "Hey, brother, my boy." Okay. Wow, everybody know me like that. It's like we family. The pastor come up. He like, "All right now, church, you finna get blessed today. You finna get praised on today. Yes." I'm looking from side to side. I can't believe it. People all over the church, right? They all got hats. You know, the ladies in the church got their hats tilted to the side. The hats talk themselves and they sign. Believe that. The pastors is preaching his butt off. And what the hats doing, they flopping up and down, side to side. They're like, "Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord." All I see are hats tilted to the side, leaning forward, leaning back. I couldn't believe it. Not one fell off. The ladies in the church singing, I couldn't believe it. The hats were talking and signing. They flying up in the air and come right back on the head. They're like, "Lord, I give it up to you, God." It was so entertaining. It was a musical chairs. It was musical hats. It was telling the story just by themselves from my vantage point. And you know what the choir was doing? The pastor was like, "Go ahead, choir. Show them some love." And you know, someone always got to start like, They up here stepping in unison, doing a bankhead bounce, the cabbage patch from side to side. And they like, before they even hit the note, they taking it an octave up, another octave up, right? They're like, "Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. What?" I was in it. I couldn't believe it. They're like, oh, the altos were getting it, sopranos were getting it, tenors were getting it. It was in three-point harmony, and they were stepping, doing the cabbage patch all at the same time. They were even doing the running man. Believe it or not, they started doing the WAP. Who does the WAP in church? Everybody else in the church started getting up doing it. I couldn't believe it. But I didn't know who the Grammy was going to go to that night. I didn't know if it was the women in the church, if it was the old ladies, if it was the man way in the back row. I don't know. Everybody was getting it, but that was church. At the end of church, black folks, I had to take a nap. It was too much energy. Now, after church is over, the white folks, they had the little fest afterwards. I eat some of their food and I just look from side to side. I seen some celery. I seen a spread. You know, we don't do no spread. They had cheese, blocks of cheese, some cold, and I'm talking about cold, like out of the refrigerator cold. Well, no, I'm sorry, it was called hot wings, but it was cold. Who the hell has cold hot wings? Anyway, I go to my people's church. It looked like Easter Sunday, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all together. It was so much food, I couldn't believe it. They had sweet potato pie on deck. They had macaroni and cheese with extra cheese and extra macaroni. I'm talking about the government cheese. Y'all know the government cheese, y'all, right? Boy, ketchup, boy. I'm talking about they had chocolate cake, 3-layer cake, pound cake, 7-layer cake. I'm talking about cake on top of cake on top of cake. It was mouth-watering. And of course they done had some Kentucky Fried Chicken to go with it. Ain't nothing like some Kentucky Fried Chicken, a whole bucket of it. You know, I'm trying to touch it. That's when I get popped. That's the only sign they knew. In the white church, they let me take whatever I wanted. I'm like, hey, thank you, thank you. In the black church, boy, put your hand back. I'm like, well, dang, the food looks so good. I thought it was just for me. I used to get in trouble all the time. That's the only time they used to touch me was because I'd be trying to touch all this food. But I appreciate you. I thank my grandma for making sure that we live right. We respected our elders. And that's it, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.